You know what they say, recruiting never stops, and the Red Raiders have identified yet another defensive tackle in the transfer portal. Who is it? Plus, the latest transfer portal team ranking updates. Where does Texas Tech rank not only nationally, but within the new Big 12? Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. We did a good job on this last video. About 47% of the people that watched it subscribed. I still think we can get above 50. So if you want to join one of the most engaging Texas Tech communities here on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're instantly, notified when a video hits the feed. All right, before we jump into the latest portal target for the Red Raiders, I've got to ask you guys a question. What position group in 2024 on the Texas Tech Red Raider football team are you most interested in seeing? I think there's going to be a lot of offensive line talk. I think there's going to be a lot of wide receiver talk. Maybe it's the defensive line. Let me know down on the pinned comment below what position group you are most interested in seeing for Texas Tech in 2024. All right, let's jump into the latest Texas Tech football transfer portal offer, and it is for Nevada defensive tackle James Hansen. He is 6'2", 307 pounds, and has 1 year of eligibility left. Actually started his collegiate career at Riverside Community College, then transferred to Utah State. Did not play there, just redshirted there for the Aggies, and then transferred to Reno to play for the Wolfpack. In 2023, he started 12 games, all 12 of them for the Wolfpack, and recorded 18 total tackles, 4.5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup as well. Now, we've got some good film to break down here. Let's jump right into it in terms of the film breakdown for James Hansen. And it's interesting because you'll see some breakdown here. He moves inside. He's not the biggest dude in the world. I mentioned it. 6'2", 307, has 1 year of eligibility left. Right over the center here, as you can see, even though there is a flagpole in the way, but does a really good job of really getting off that block quickly. Look at his hands usage here. One more time on this particular play. Sets himself up well, knows exactly where he needs to be, stays within his lane. That's one of the main things that stands out to me in terms of what Hansen does at a high level. Just gets off that block really, really quickly, makes an impact. All right, look at this play set up right here. Looks like they're going to bring 4, do the Wolfpack here, and he's set up between the center and the right guard. Again, it's Iowa right here. So a power 5, gets off his block well, stays within his rush lane. You're going to hear me say that quite a bit. And why am I saying that quite a bit? Well, Joey McGuire had talked about this multiple times. And this play right here against San Diego State may be the biggest film breakdown in terms of particular play that stands out to me in terms of him staying in his rush lane and doing what is necessary for the team and not himself. Look at this play. They're bringing 6 right here of the Wolfpack. All right, you got a hat for a hat when it comes to blockers against the Aztecs of San Diego State. The running back's going to come up and block this blitzer from the secondary. And what does Hansen do? He stays on his block, engages in his block well, and then gets off of it quickly once he identifies that the quarterback is stepping up in the pocket and trying to create something to his right. He disengages very quickly, gets off his block, and for 307, makes a pretty good play right there. Stays in his rush lane once again, boom, steps up in the pocket, does the quarterback, and Hansen is right there to help in that regard in terms of the sack. He's just a violent football player that it looks like to me, while watching the film, plays a little bit faster than you would expect. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. When you watch some of his film, you're like, okay, he's a little slow. But then you see him actually run, you're like, okay, he's running down running backs out into the sideline to sideline aspect of this. Now, remember, he's not coming in here to be a savior. Let's put that out there. I like some of the traits that he has on film, but he is more of a depth piece when it comes down to it, to take some of the pressure off, alleviate some of the pressure for guys like Quincy Ledet, due to Banks, right? Those guys there that are going to be in the middle of that interior defensive line for Texas Tech. McAlpine is obviously another one as well. Amir Washington, him moving around, he could potentially play on the interior for some snaps as well. He is a veteran presence that has proven what he can do at the collegiate level and is a solid depth piece for the Red Raiders. It would not shock me at all if you hear in the next couple of days, maybe in the next few hours by the time that this video comes out, he has set up a visit to come to Texas Tech. And maybe he doesn't because Texas Tech lands another defensive tackle that was on campus. Who knows at this point? The portal moves so quickly, but it is an interesting skill set that James Hansen provides Texas Tech if he were to end up in the 806. All right, let's talk about the transfer portal rankings as they were updated once again as of Thursday, January 4th, the morning of, I should say. 24/7 Sports has the Red Raiders as the 7th best transfer portal recruiting class in the entire country, and third best in the Big 12 behind Colorado, who is either 1 or 2 on every list, and then TCU in the Big 12 for 24/7 Sports. Now, Rivals has the Red Raiders as the 9th best national recruiting class in terms of the transfer portal class, third best in the Big 12 behind Colorado, and then Arizona State. Now, on 3, their ranking has gone up quite a bit, actually. They had the Red Raiders the last time we updated this at 16. They are now 11th in the country, and in the Big 12, second best, only behind Colorado, who, as I previously mentioned, is 1 or 2 on every one of the lists on either recruiting site. It just kind of depends on who you look at. For me, once again, looking at what Texas Tech has done in the portal, this is probably the best case scenario for Texas Tech in terms of what you've done on your offensive line. You've landed 4 guys if you include the JUCO left tackle and Rodriguez. And then obviously you got Porcher as well. You got Scurry. You got Carter on the offensive line. Then you went out and addressed their wide receiver needs in the likes of Josh Kelly from Washington State, Caleb Payday Douglas. You know how I feel about Payday. Any chance I get in these videos, I'm going to say his nickname. Get over it. It's a lot of fun to say. You should try it at home. Anyway, they may add another 1 or 2 guys. That's probably likely, specifically on the defensive line, because Joey McGuire has been adamant. That's kind of where they're targeting in the portal right now after assessing what they could potentially need after signing everyone in their 2024 high school recruiting class and then signing 11 guys from the portal already. How many spots do they have available? Hell, if I know. If anybody can tell you a legit number, they're probably on the staff, because anybody outside of it probably is just guessing. But if they add 1 or 2 guys to that defensive line, you feel a lot better from a depth perspective, specifically because there will be more experience on that defensive line in the sense of the guy that you're adding currently to the roster. Because outside of Quincy Ledet, there's not a ton of experience there. Now, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but you want to at least have 1, really 2 guys that have college football experience in terms of multiple years playing on that interior of the defensive line to, as I mentioned, alleviate that pressure from the younger guys having to make a substantial step up in terms of playing time and role on the team for Texas Tech. But again, you're 7th according to 24/7 Sports when it comes to where you rank nationally in terms of your transfer portal class, 9th by Rivals, and then the 11th class by On3. You rank in the top 3 of the Big 12 at worst, and then you rank 2nd best according to On3 in terms of your portal class. This is the best case scenario for Texas Tech, and I don't think they're quite done just yet. One more time before we head out of here. What position group are you most looking forward to watching for Texas Tech football in 2024? Spring football is going to be here before you know it, people. The new year is here. I hope everybody had a safe and happy new year. Said that a couple times on the videos since we've posted, since 2024. How about that? But spring football is going to be here pretty damn quick. And we're going to talk about that ad nauseum and break down position groups and everything. And here in the not too distant future on the channel, for those that stuck around until the 9-minute mark, I'll be having my way too early projected starting 22 for the Red Raiders come out on the channel, let's say here in the next week or so. I'm RC Maxfield reminding you one more time, if you want to join the most engaging Texas Tech community here on YouTube, simply hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay in the know on your Red Raiders all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.